The man whom fans claim is the uncrowned king of wrestling. You know that all these fans believe you to be the uncrowned king of wrestling, Junkyard.
They believe, I believe, the whole world believe. I am the uncrowned heavyweight champion of this world. And I owe a lot of things to these people, because these people here in Houston, Texas, throughout the state of Texas, have been very good to me. And I got something to prove to them tonight, wrestling against Nick Bockwinkel. And I'm going to go down to the very last breath out of my body tonight, and I'm going to do all I can to show these people tonight what they have built into the Junkyard Dog. I'm going to let it all out.
Well, some of your fans have procured this crown for you, and we're going to crown you, but I have to read this. Suffered an unfair, biased, and unwarranted verdict in a match with world's champion Nick Bockwinkel, and whereas, due to the interference of the champion's manager, Bobby Heenan, also known as the Weasel, the champion and his title were rescued from an ignominious defeat. And whereas the champion and his manager have refused to put the title and the belt on the line against the Junkyard Dog, therefore we, the Committee for Justice, Youngsters, Decency, also known as the Committee for JYD, having heard the will of wrestling fans everywhere expressed on hundreds of petitions demanding recognition for the Junkyard Dog as the uncrowned king of wrestling, do hereby present this crown as a symbol of the superiority of the Junkyard Dog, and do crown him the king of wrestling as symbolized by this crown. Signed, the Committee for Justice, Youngsters, Decency. And
so that's what I'm talking about now. That's exactly what I'm talking about now.
All right. Please take the crown, and just let him run his mouth off.
Yeah.
Just with me is Nick Bockwinkel, who will be battling Junkyard Dog tonight, and this time the world's heavyweight champion is a challenger. He's going after the crown.
For a specific reason. Cretinous humanoids get swayed very easily by something that catches their fancy, as Junkyard Dog has done. He has put this silly margarine hat on. He wears white shoes and red trunks, and if he needs that paraphernalia to give himself the recognition and to please you, atavistic little humanoids running around out there, it's kind of sad. And the reason I'm challenging him, because I am thoroughly disgusted with the fact that I, as the world's heavyweight champion, this is the only thing that needs to be spoken of, respected, or admired. Not some silly hat that this character wears. And I'm going to humiliate him, I'm going to beat him, I'm going to pin him. And then once and for all, you'll all have to put your heads down in very solemn supplication to me, because it'll be simple and evident. He's not the man for the job ever, or for the heavyweight title.
The Junkyard Dog, and Junkyard Dog, Nick Bockwinkel just said he's going to pin you, humiliate you, and take your crown.
Well, you know, talk is cheap. What will come in that square circle is the main thing. Like I told the people in the state of Texas, which presented me this crown, talk is very cheap, but those 4 square circles in that ring is the dog yard, and nobody run this dog out of his yard. So, Mr. Bockwinkel, once this thing's over tonight, and I put that thump down on that high end, maybe Mr. Bosch, maybe with the help of the people here in Texas, Mississippi, wherever they're looking, getting this TV program, maybe Mr. Bockwinkel put that World Championship belt up against the dog once and for all.
Just like you're willing to put that crown up.
I'm willing to put the crown up, which this crown represent the people, and I'm going to represent the people real well. I'm 310 pounds. I'm nothing but frustration, toothache, and disaster upon somebody nasty body, which is Mr. Bockwinkel.
He can be pretty nasty.
Oh, he's nasty, but I'm even nastier. And like I said before, the night will prove it all. My crown and the people is up, and I don't let the people down.
Now let's see what happened. Pandemonium at the Coliseum. An uproar here at the Coliseum. World's champion Nick Bockwinkel is in the ring, and so is his manager Bobby Heenan. The music you hear has to do with the entrance of Junkyard Dog, and here he comes. Junkyard Dog coming into the ring and swinging his chain and clearing the ring as his music plays and plays and plays. During the course of tonight's events here at the Sam Houston Coliseum, the Junkyard Dog was crowned King of Wrestling. Petitions were on file. People have been voting for him to be the uncrowned King of Wrestling. And then a committee came up with a crown and decided that they wanted him crowned as the uncrowned King of Wrestling. And he was crowned here tonight. And that committee, the Committee for Justice, Youngsters, and Decency, the Committee for JYD, was in the corner of the Junkyard Dog. And that bell starts off this battle, an important battle for the World Heavyweight Champion. His belt is not at stake. What is at stake is his reputation, because the fans felt that when they met several weeks ago, that Junkyard Dog would have and should have been declared the champion of the world, because as he held Bockwinkel down, it was Bobby Heenan, sometimes known as the Weasel, who was on the outside of the ring, who slammed the 3 count to the ring, and Junkyard Dog thought it was the referee and let Bockwinkel up. The tremendous impact of that chicanery on the part of Bobby Heenan, which was not essentially an illegal move, because he never touched the Junkyard Dog, and what he did outside the ring, but he did it loud enough that he affected the course of things inside the ring. And the immediate hue and the immediate cry was to have Junkyard Dog declared the uncrowned King of Wrestling. Now he's crowned. That crown is at stake in this all-important match. If Bockwinkel wins, he ends the surge of Junkyard Dog toward the top. He ends his reign as the King of Wrestling. He gets the crown. Right now he's getting a thumping, and the Bockwinkel is being crowned, to say the least. But Junkyard wants one more thing. He wants the man who caused him to not win the title the last time he met Nick Bockwinkel. There's Bobby Heenan. There's the Weasel, who has everything to gain by a victory by Bockwinkel tonight. That means he won't have to get into the ring at all with the Junkyard Dog. And Bockwinkel decides that outside is better, especially with that determined attitude of the Junkyard Dog. Up in the ring, the Junkyard Dog, a tremendous athlete, a solid citizen, a man who has a basis for success in any sport in which he could go, and who has chosen wrestling. And we're lucky and proud of that fact. Look at the physique on Junkyard Dog and you'll know what we're talking about. Hard working, hard training, hard wrestling individual. Bockwinkel, crafty, capable, knowledgeable, but also a man who will take every opportunity to turn a situation to his benefit by the shadiest means sometimes, and outside the ring to escape punishment. Listen to that crowd here as they roar against Nick Bockwinkel. Heenan sweating a little himself, you can bet. He doesn't want to step into that ring against Junkyard Dog at all. Not even for the shortest time. So Jack Howell is the referee. And Bockwinkel is trying, of course, to get the Junkyard Dog's timetable off the track. Bockwinkel with those blows into the midsection and laying it in there with a vengeance. That head caught Bockwinkel right in the solar plexus. Driving blow, and He caught him again. The legality of that blow might be in question. Not according to the referee, so we're not going to question it. He whips him back, and oh, how he dropped him and dropped him hard. And Bockwinkel felt that all along his spine, and as he crawls laboriously to the corner, he is having trouble in making it. There's Heenan trying to give a word of advice to his charge, his meal ticket, his boy Nick. So the dog moving in there slowly at the 5-minute mark, keeping his eye on Bockwinkel, matching moves with him. Front headlock is the hold. And as Bockwinkel bears down on him, pushes down on him, the champion is shifting from side to side. The referee is shifting from side to side. Now, as the fans start to bark, they're trying to encourage Junkyard Dog, and look at the power of that man. Now, Bockwinkel weighs more than 245 pounds, and he hurled him across that ring. Good distance between the dog and Bockwinkel. But that is a powerful man, that Junkyard Dog. He's going after the stomach claw. He's grabbing the midsection where he has rammed him with his head a number of times, and pours in there to try to intensify the pressure on the intestines of Nick Bockwinkel. He knows an opening when he sees it, and he went after it, and went after it for fair. Bockwinkel trying to work his way out of that. He knows that he has bet his manager on the outcome of this, and he's got to do something about it. Whatever happens, the AWA will still recognize Nick Bockwinkel when this is over. But you can bet that Junkyard Dog is being watched closely by the wrestling world in everything that he does, because he has lived up to his stature in all areas of the country. So the dog, look at the muscles on that dog as he pours what appears to be a chokehold from where we are. He pours it on to Bockwinkel, and Bockwinkel is hitting him on the head, which is a futile gesture. So Nick is on the floor, and as he staggers along, he is helped along by the dog, and the dog now wants to change the contour of the dog's face, and the dog just rammed into the ring post. Nick Bockwinkel was headed for that ring post when Nick shot him ahead and rammed him into the post, and Bobby Heenan goes over and takes a Sunday punch at the Junkyard Dog. On the floor is the dog. The floor of the Sam Houston Coliseum. He has not yet appeared, and this could be the end of this, as the referee tolls his count, but I can't pick up what the count is, and Bockwinkel is trying to get him to do it right now. Dog rammed solidly, face first, into that ring post. There goes Bockwinkel, impatient, grabbing hold of his opponent there on the floor to try to heist him up into the ring and to do something about it. Hit him face first, and the dog is bleeding from those raps into the ring post. dog comes in slowly. That kick in the head won't do his temper any good. You can bet your boots on that. Nick Bockwinkel following up what he hopes is an advantage and trying to introduce the face of the Junkyard Dog into that turnbuckle. There's Jack Howe trying to change this now, and the dog is bleeding from the head, from the above the eye, and from the nose, from the effect of the whopping into the ring post. And now, as Nick hits him in the head, the dog suddenly becomes rigid and now rolls him over, and he pinned him. He pinned him. He pinned the world's heavyweight champion. It means that he has gained a victory over Nick Bockwinkel. He has gained a victory over the world's champion, and he gets Bobby Heenan. He gets Bobby Heenan. Heenan is impatient, and only because the Junkyard Dog is down. But the Junkyard Dog wrapped him up in a cradle hold and pinned Nick Bockwinkel. He pinned him, and this crowd here went crazy, but they are now roaring for the Junkyard Dog to get up. And Heenan, as he pours into him, remember that Heenan was, before he became a manager, a wrestler, and he is trying to keep the Junkyard Dog from coming up. But now, watch the Junkyard Dog. He is taking the punishment. He is rising to his feet. He is coming back. He is stepping in there to give Bobby Heenan what Heenan doesn't want. And I'll tell you, he almost landed that time. If he had bounced off there, he would have been far away. And Bockwinkel has not yet disappeared from ringside. There is the roar, the bellow of the Junkyard Dog as he manhandles Bobby Heenan. And outside, now it's Nick Bockwinkel who is doing the roaring for Bobby Heenan, and Bockwinkel who steps into the ring and catches the fury of Junkyard Dog. Heenan topping a Sunday punch on the dog, and the dog is being affected by it. A four-footed attack on the dog, and the crowd here roaring for the dog. And the crowd here, here's Bruiser Brody, and Brody, as he comes into the ring, starts after Nick Bockwinkel and whams him. No, he's got Bobby Heenan. It's the dog who has Bockwinkel. Whams him into him, and we've got it on both sides of the fence here as Brody now comes in to make things even. And there goes Bockwinkel outside, and he grabs Heenan and starts over the aisle. Bobby Heenan, and rescued by Bruiser Brody, a tremendous windup. But the winner and still the possessor of the crown, still the man who was crowned the king of wrestling here tonight, and earned it. He earned it by
in the crown king of wrestling, the Junkyard Dog.
So the crowned king of wrestling, the crowned king of wrestling, the Junkyard Dog. Be back with you in a moment, right after this word.